Hello, boys and girls. This week we are talking about ways that people in a community can help one another. So, Miss Belly wanted to read a story to you, and this story takes place in a different country and in a different continent. Okay, this story is nonfiction. That means that it's not fake. It's real. This is a real story, and it takes place in Colombia, South America. Colombia is the country, just like we live in the United States of America. That's our country. And South America is the continent. We live in North America, just above it. You can see North America on the map up here. So just below us in South America is where this story takes place. This is where it's happened, okay? And the character that you see on your screen, his name is Luis. And he does something very special to help his community. He has his own library. What is a library? A library is a place where you get books. Well, he has his own library in his house, and he wants to help others get books. Just think about how we get our books. We usually get them at a library or a bookstore, right? Well, in this country, they are not close to a library or a bookstore. So that's why Luis decided he is going to help, okay? So here we go. Miss Belly's going to read it to you. I'll scoot myself over. Okay, here we go. Luis's library. How do you get your books? How does giving out books help people? In Colombia, a country in South America, children love to read books. But getting books when you live far away from a town with a library can be hard. Luckily, a man named Luis Soriano has come up with a way to bring books to some very small villages in Colombia. Luis is a school teacher in a small town. He's just like me. He enjoys books just as much as his students do. In the house, he shares with his wife and children. There are books stacked up to the ceiling. So, what does it mean if he's sharing with his wife and his children? He's letting them borrow his books, isn't he? Because if you share, you take something that's yours and let somebody else use it. He believes that the children in his country should have books and a library, no matter where they live. For over 20 years, he has shared his books with children all over Colombia. You'll never guess how he delivers them. Ooh, that gives us a hint to go to the next page, that we're going to find out how he delivers his books. Okay. Luis doesn't throw his books into the back seat of his car or even onto a wagon. He delivers them with 2 donkeys. Oh my goodness. First, he straps small bookshelves on his back. Or not on his back, on the back of the donkeys. And they are named Alpha, and I'm going to say that that's Beto. Alpha and Beto. Alpha, Beto. After the Spanish words alphabet and alphabeto. Then he fills the shelves with books and heads out to one of the 15 villages that he visits regularly. That means he goes there a lot. Luis and his donkeys carry signs that say Bibliburo. That means donkey library in Spanish. It's a library on legs. How neat is that? Luis and his donkeys get up early every Saturday and spend the day making sure that kids who live deep in the country have books to read. They cross over rivers and they follow dangerous trails. They even fight off snakes and hot temperature to bring children books. Years ago, Luis hurt his leg when he fell from one of the donkeys, but he was back to delivering books as soon as his leg healed. Luis knows that children rely on him for getting new books to read. He won't let anything slow him down. Luis is a wonderful person, isn't he? To go through all of that to make sure that kids have books to read, that is awesome. The children in the small villages Luis visits know when he and the Bibliburo are coming. They line up in the street and wait excitedly for the donkeys to ride into town. They're really excited for their books. Luis gives them lessons in different subjects and works with them to improve their reading skills. He even gives them homework to turn in during his next visit. Luis also has the children draw pictures and tell their own stories. He knows that reading and writing helps the children make connections to the rest of the world. Of course, Luis also lets the children and their families borrow books, and he brings as many different kinds of books as he can, so people can always find something that interests them. He even brings dictionaries and encyclopedias. The Biblioburro is a library after all. Luis started the Biblioburro with only 70 books. He had to work very hard to make his dream of a donkey library come true. Now people all over the world admire, remember that's one of our vocabulary words, admire Luis. They really approve of him and like him because of his library, his donkey library. Of course, people admire the donkeys for their hard work too. Luis couldn't have done it without Alpha and Beta. Movies and picture books have been made about Luis and his Biblioburro. Now he gets books sent to him from as far away as New York City. With all the books that get donated, he and his wife have more than enough books for their collection. If someone donates them a book, they give it to them for free. They have started to build a real library in a real building near their home. Luis has inspired people in other parts of the world to give books to children who have no other way of getting them. So even though Luis has never left Colombia, he has helped children all over the world. So what did you think about that story, boys and girls? Did you like it? What do you think about Luis? He's a hero in his country, isn't he? He's a teacher. He helps kids. He makes sure that they have books to read, because they can't just come to school and get a book from the library like we can. He has to venture a long way to be able to help these kiddos. So he definitely helps his community.